Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello to lecturer Wan Najiha Arifah binti Wan Ahmad. My name is Anas Putra bin Azhari as the leader of this group. Today we would like to present Management Assignment 2, which is group assignment. This is my group. Our group consisted of 4 members. It is me and with 3 other members is Ahmad Hafizuddin Hassani bin Abdul Filus, Faris Adli bin Shahli and Muhammad Idham bin Sanusi. Introduction. Analysis of the management challenges facing the world today. Supply chain problem. Meaning of the supply chains, individual network and the company involved in the create product and deliver them of the use. Where does the supply chain start and end? The link in the chains begin with a raw material products and end with a when deliver finished product to the end use. The supply chain is the critical to the business survival. This allows them to meet the demand customer by ensuring uninterrupted access their net product. The supply chain is often suffered from problem. Evidence of the supply chain problem from the news. Based on the charts displayed during the pandemic. Supply chain management professional experience moderated disruption is a high percentage caused by the pandemic, which is as much as 56%, and supply chain management professional that experience heavy disruption is the lowest percentage caused by the pandemic, which is 12%. Based on the chat that has been displayed, they are the factor contributing to the supply chain issue. The factor that is a high factor is a global political unrest by 58%, followed by the lack of raw material which is a 44%, and that a three high is a energy cost which is a 14%. And the lowest factor is a changing consumer behavior, which is 22%. Global political unrest in the main factor cause current supply chain issue. Direction business leader expect in 2023 are the reducing available the raw material in the United States in 50%, a slowdown in the contraction in new home 41%, and direction the public transportation due to the lack of driver 41%.
Okay, next we're going to talk about the main causes of supply chain problem. The first problem is political unrest. The second one is shortage of raw materials, increased fuel and energy costs, and inflation. Political unrest. Political instability is a significant threat to the success of companies operating in the global supply chain area. Terrorism, change in government policy, systematically corruption, and the energy crisis are among the problems of political unrest that cause supply chain problems. For an example, the ongoing unrest in Ukraine poses a global resource that threat that senior leader must take seriously. The turmoil caused many goods the Ukraine state could not produce, such as a wheat. This action caused the world supply chains to be affected because the goods that need to be sent to the world market has problems. Material supply delays also can be a problem. Poor material quality estimation. Poor estimates lead either undersupply or oversupply. A lack of supply can disrupt operation in area because reordering can cause late delay and additional costs, especially if the material has been imported from overseas. On the other hand, excess supply incur additional costs or loss to the contractor. Material quality also can be a problem. If the quality of the material does not meet the standard or contain defect, the good cannot be delivered. A defect in an item can be caused by improper handling during packaging, shipping, or delivery. Some materials may have a minor defect that can be repaired. However, some materials, such as a broken sanitary ware, may have significant defect that cannot be repaired. If the good passed the good quality inspection, it will delay the delivery of the good and affect the global supply chain. Inconsistent requests. Consistent demand occurs when the sale of material or product are independent of local market demand. Product made to order will take a long time, possibly days to months. For an example, a car made to order will take a long time, which can take a month, because the manufacturer has to make the vehicle from a scratch. A long time to prepare an item will prevent the delivery of an item to the customer from being delayed.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the increased fuel and energy costs. Rising costs have impact on car fueling and the supply chain industry. Rising fuel costs force carrier to raise price. If they not, they will suffer loss. The carrier has to transport the good at a higher rate. This will cause the shipper to collect the goods until it filled or the space that can be carried by a transport vehicle. This will cause the carrier to take longer to fill a transport vehicle. This will cause the delivery of goods to be hampered because the carrier will have to get a high payment to compensate for the cost incurred. Starting inflation as the main factor. The use of inefficient vehicles that use excessive fuel and do not deliver enough loads are less preferred by carriers, resulting in truck shortage for some companies. As a result, the product of the user shipping charge will be more expensive. Higher gas price can cause inflation in the economy, directly impacting consumers. Unfortunately, supply chains management business and consumer are negative affected by everything being shipped globally today. Okay, now we're going to talk about the increased fuel and energy costs. Rising costs have impact on car fueling and the supply chain industry. Rising fuel costs force carrier to raise price. If they not, they will suffer loss. The carrier has to transport the good at a higher rate. This will cause the shipper to collect the goods until it filled or the space that can be carried by a transport vehicle. This will cause the carrier to take longer to fill a transport vehicle. This will cause the delivery of goods to be hampered because the carrier will have to get a high payment to compensate for the cost incurred.
4.0 Suggestions to overcome supply chain problems. 4.1 Create a supply chain emergency plan. An industry must have a backup plan, especially regarding supply. With an emergency plan in place, an industry can carry out operation as usual because it has been prepared to face unwanted possibilities. When making an emergency plan, the industry should consider all the different ways you can move goods and consider setting aside an emergency budget that can be used in the event of an disruption. Second, identify backup providers. The global industry must find several suppliers that produce the same goods to provide what is needed if the current supplier need to provide the required goods. With several suppliers producing the same material, there is no need to worry if one of the suppliers has a problem. For 4.3, the next point is cooperate with logistics experts. It would help if you found logistic and supply chain experts who can step in to support you when disruption occurs. Logistics experts need to assist in finding alternative career solutions, and help understand how to deal with disruption and navigate fees and searches. Thank you.
5.0 Conclusion. Supply chain problems stem from a variety of factors. Global political upheaval is one of the main problems that can affect a country's income and cause a country's economy to experience a decline. Supply chain problems also affect the local and global industry, which causes the industry to suffer losses and affects the workers in the industry who are in the problematic supply chain area. Employees will be reduced wages or fired to ensure the recommendation must be made to overcome supply chain problem by creating a supply chain emergency plan, identifying backup providers with logistics experts. With our recommendation, we can deal with with the change problems.